Red Cloud Financial Services is your preeminent source for mining industry opportunities. The team provides a unique tailored marketing program dedicated to reaching the right people from its mining-focused global network, giving clients access to industry-leading events and conferences, retail and institutional marketing, plus an in-house growth-driven digital agency. Red Cloud Financial Services has access to some of the mining industry's most notable companies and CEOs. For more information, visit redcloudfs.com.
Hey everyone, I want to thank Red Cloud for a great guest and a great story. We're going to talk everything uranium, maybe a little bit of nuclear, but this has been a hot sector for years. That narrative is not changing, and we're going to learn a little something here today from Mustang's Energy CEO, Nick Luksha. Real pleasure to have you on here, Nick. How are things going anyway? How's the start of 2025 for you guys?
Things are really good. They're off to the races, and thank you, Andrew, for having me. Much appreciated and happy to be here. But for us, 2025 is off to a quick start. 2024 was a lot of prep and setup, and now we're up and running, working the field, raising money, telling our story. And so we're off to the races and very excited for what more is to come this year.
And it's great timing because we're leading into PDAC here, and you guys have a number of projects, different time frames. I think that you're focused on, you have to do work on. But you did, like you said, you hit a lot of milestones for 2024, and a lot of projects in the Athabasca Basin, which everybody knows that's the place to be for Canada. Incredible amount of work being done there and results coming out of there. So what happened in 2024 to lead you into here? There were some pivotal things that helped to develop to where you got today.
Well, our group decided we wanted to get into uranium. Obviously, hot sector. You got people like Bill Gates coming out saying we need to look to Canada for uranium. We're arguably the most uranium-rich country in the world, with the Athabasca Basin being the home of that. It's just something that's in short supply, high demand. It's going to become in higher demand as time goes by. There was something like 68 nuclear reactors either under construction or being refurbished in 2024. That's gone up into the 70s, 74, 76. And so the demand's going to grow. Well, the supply just isn't going to meet that demand. So us and some others were out there looking to make meaningful uranium discoveries. We're in the right location. We're surrounded by uranium occurrences and deposits. So, and you can see our map there. I love that map because it literally shows that we're surrounded by uranium. And we're out there working it. So we got listed June 2024, have made some strong partnerships, Axiom, DeRouge, Sky Harbor, as you know Jordan Trimble, and also happy to have Lindy Gilliam on as our head geo. Jordan Trimble's come on as a strategic advisor, and we're out there. And of course, Red Cloud. Red Cloud's a great one to work with. Red Cloud won't work with you unless you've run their gauntlet and they've vetted your data. And so that's a feather in our cap. And we're just really excited to get into a lot of these projects. And obviously, what you see there is a lot of different stuff spread across the basin. And of course, the yellow is occurrences, red are deposits. And we are doing a phase 1 and a phase 2 work program right now, where we further prove up existing drill targets, find new ones, and then we'll analyze the data in the months to come and decide what to drill this summer.
I mean, it's wild because you mentioned like Linda's a technical advisor. She's worked at like Denison. I think she worked at, Axiom as well, exploration manager at Axiom. So she comes with a ton of work experience in that region. And of course, Jordan as well as Sky Harbor. That does beef up the narrative, the story, the technical advisor, and having these great targets. And that map, like I said, that kind of tells the story right there in a large part. And we'll narrow down on a couple of the projects because we were chatting a little bit ahead of time about like the Ford project or maybe Yellowstone. So before we jump into that, this is that great map of showing where you are next to very successful projects, assay results, companies that have been developing resources. So it is a very exciting time for you guys to be getting ready to hit the ground running.
Yep, that's right. And take Ford Lake, for example. There's several deposits that are close by that belong to Denison and Cameco. So we're working the ground there. We've got some preliminary targets that we're further proving up right now, and then take something else like our Yellowstone, which, we know that the uranium is deeper in the ground, but it's there. And just north of us, recently, it was December 2024, a deal closed where Paladin acquired Fission for $1.14 billion. And so that's the dream scenario that we're chasing. Will we get there? Don't know 100%. We're damn sure going to try. And if there's anywhere in the world that's the right region to find such a thing, then it's in the Athabasca Basin.
And that's the thing, is people are recognizing finally. We've always been known for uranium in the Athabasca Basin, but more the retail public are really getting comfortable with uranium, and in part because every billionaire has their nuclear company, pretty much, whether it's Oklo, Constellation with Microsoft, and those nuclear stocks have done exceptionally well, because that narrative, it doesn't matter, whatever politics version you like, that story isn't changing. Nuclear is powering forward, and that puts Canada in an incredible space because, we've got competition with Kazakhstan and Australia a little bit, but Canada has a wealth here that, if unlocked appropriately and positively, is literally, revolutionary.
It really is. When Bill Gates came out with that statement, which I mentioned earlier, it's just so nice to hear them, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, their data centers, they require insane amounts of power. And that's today, and that's in the near future. But as time goes by, the demand's only going to grow. So we're in a really good position to be able to fuel those needs. And they're a neighbor. And then, of course, we're going to have domestic demand within Canada. So a lot of people were wary of nuclear power for a long time, but it really is the cleanest, best way to go. Hydro, wind, solar, it's great. It just doesn't generate enough power for what it costs. It's too slow. And so nuclear, it's the way to go. It's the way of the future. Everybody's going to have to get on board.
Yeah, no, I'm such a fan of it too. And sure, if you're lucky enough to have a hydro, you've got a large enough body of water to do that, great. But you run into a lot of obstacles. Say, I remember one geo saying you'd have to have 8 or 9 Site C dams if you wanted to go full electric for BC. Now, can you imagine that conversation with people that you're going to plug up 8 more rivers? Mm-hmm. No, not going to happen. So this is the alternative, and it is the safest. So if someone likes data, they like science, they like to look at things, it is by far cleanest and safest. And that, I think, it's taken some education. And it's very helpful having all these billionaires. Not only do they have the money to run PR and to inform the market, it gives a relative sense of ease that people think, oh, okay, these people are on cutting edge of energy, AI, technology. They're all on board for nuclear.
That's right. I mean, these are the guys that own and operate the companies that are going to use so much of this power. So who better as spokesman to go out there and say, we need more? Also to get off some of the dirtier stuff like coal and whatnot. So clean, efficient, environmentally friendly. It's just makes nothing but sense.
And it is interesting too when you see, because I've seen some pushback where people are like, wait a second, this almost seems unfair that all these billionaire huge tech firms, they're going to get nuclear well ahead of the rest of us. Right. So even that narrative of, instead of being like, wait a second, they're going to have solid, reliable, constant energy with no intermittent blackouts, with no rolling, they're going to have set and go, well, yeah. If you thought crypto ate up energy and you think just our energy needs eat up, look at what AI is doing and the advancements as it accelerates, which we all know it is. That's so much more power. You need a lot of power, and Canada, we're sitting in a position where we can deliver that.
Yeah. No, like I've said, and the Athabasca Basin is arguably the number one uranium-rich region in the whole planet, and it's in central Canada, and it's relatively untouched on the large scale. And so, we just got to get out there and we got to do the work. We're going to spend the next few months, flying our surveys and reinterpreting existing data. And we've got a lot of property to work. And then come summer, we'll go hit the best targets we have. So, I think it's a matter of getting out there and doing the work. We're doing the work. We're well capitalized. We got over $4 million in the bank. We've got a couple teams in the field as we speak. We were putting together budgets for the summer months. So, Red Cloud can work with us to raise money and go execute on the drilling. It's just everything's coming together for us. 2024 was a setup, and now we're executing. So we're very happy and very excited for where this is going to go. And
it's a great time too the price has come down a little bit too. Spot now, uranium spot price is a whole other discussion in and of itself. But you want to see a high price, but you don't want. I would argue not too high, because we're going to have to fund a lot of uranium, and it's down at 64 today from I think it was 105 at one point back in 2024. But that I think for someone looking right now. And is just kind of getting up to speed on the pace at which this nuclear story is developing. This gives a great entry point for someone who says, wait a second, I want exposure to this. Price of uranium's pulled back. I've got some lift here and some leverage with an exploration company all around the areas, near discoveries, near people that have found a lot of uranium, and they have a plan moving forward. So maybe let's talk about the two kind of projects. You said you've got one, the Ford one, which is more shallow, and then you've got one that's a bit deeper. Kind of walk us through those two to give people a sense of what you guys are working for here in the year ahead.
Sure. I like to use those as a contrast. Obviously, we have more than just the two, but take Ford, for example. The deposits are likely to be at a depth of, around 200 meters. And then Yellowstone could be somewhere like 800 to 1,000 meters. So obviously, that's a lot further to drill down, costs you a lot more. So our job for now is on those two properties and all the others is to do the work and figure out what our best targets are, what's going to give us the best chance for success. Because at the end of the day, the goal is to find one, if not more, deposits, significant deposits. Then we end up in a dream scenario like Fission and Paladin, where we turn around, we find someone to sell it to who's actually going to produce it and sell it to the Microsofts and Amazons and the people that need to fuel their machines. So it's really important what we do over the next several months to come up with those best targets, and then we go and hit them and hit them and hit them again. And with luck and with strategy and the great people we're working with, we hope to come up with something good.
Yeah, and that's where I guess the team really comes in, and having like Jordan as a technical advisor and Linda is that their experience and their work that they've done really adds a good breadth of technical advice and strategy for moving forward here. Let's do a little kind of breakdown here of what it means and where we sit here in Canada compared to, I know like Kazatomprom had promised 50% of their uranium to China. Was it like 6 months ago? That's pretty interesting as far as the market goes and the demand, since they're such a huge player. That I would think puts Canada in a laser focus towards our neighbor in the south, but anybody who's looking to go nuclear. And there's, like you'd mentioned, most of the world has projects going on right now.
There's a lot of friendly nations that would love to buy our uranium, lots. So there'll be no shortage of suitors on the deposit, really. And, like I said, the goal is hit it with the drill, model it up, prove it up, and then turn around, put a dollar figure on it, and see who wants to buy. And there'll be a lineup.
Yes.
Because it's in such high demand, it's essentially necessity that that people will line up to take on a major deposit.
Now I know it's a bit early, and like you said, you have a number of projects. Do you have ones that kind of that kind of stand out as favorites so far? I don't want to put you on the spot because once again, you have to do all the data research, but are there kind of ones that so far kind of stuck as like, ooh, this one's very compelling?
There are. I can't get too specific.
No.
And the reason why is because what we do in the next 3 or so months could change my answer.
Okay.
Some of the stuff has had more money spent on it and is further developed. Some of it's more greenfield. Some of it's close to serious operations. I don't want to name one. And then, the front runner is another in 3 months.
Yeah.
But part of the strategy of acquiring numerous properties is giving ourselves a better chance to succeed.
Yeah.
So if we were focused on one or two, that's all we've got. So if we drill and miss, that's it. We're done.
Yeah.
But with all these properties and some other potentials in our sites, we give ourselves the best opportunity possible to hit something significant.
And a great thing, if someone, retail as a potential investor, is that it's nice whenever you have projects next door to successful projects too, because it doesn't mean that they're going to be the suitor or the buyer or anything or the JV, but it certainly gives a good indication. If you're next door to someone and you hit and you have a great program, they're obviously going to be interested. So, I mean, it's nice whenever a retail investor can look on a map and go, oh, okay, if you guys hit, you're obviously going to have neighbors that are going to be very happy with you as well. And that's good to know. Instead of it, say, being like out in the middle of nowhere, no one's close to you, there's no one to JV, you really have to hit strong numbers, no infrastructure, anything like that. This is almost the exact opposite to that kind of story.
Totally. And if you go back to Yellowstone, pretty close to the Clough Lake mine, that produced 62 million pounds of uranium. If you put that into the spot price today, the number is unfathomable.
Yes.
But then you take something that's, a little more greenfield, Dutton, and it's I got to make sure I read this properly. It's the Virginia River Shale Zone. And that's known to host high grade uranium. So it's there. I mean, again, back to the map. I love that map because it just shows that it's literally all around us. So,
yeah, I was just seeing here that you've got Duffer Lakes, so 20 kilometers northwest, the Centennial Deposit, which is 25 kilometers west of Cameco. They had intersected 8.78 uranium over 33.9 meters. Like that. Once again, I'm not predicting the future or anything like that, but those are huge. That's incredible. If someone wants to go check and verify the outstanding result that gives you a sense of what Athabasca as a whole can deliver. And obviously what you guys would be hoping for.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's out there. So we've got to go do the work and work on finding the next big one. But it's out there. We're in the region. The science doesn't lie.
Yes. And that's the thing too, is one of the great things with having a number of targets, you maybe have some deeper ones and that's one thing, and some shallow ones. The cost fluctuates then, of course, but and tell me if I'm wrong, you can know very quickly, you can assay pretty much on the spot to know, are we, it's not gold where you go, I've got a spectrometer, I think we have some gold, we might have some gold. This is not the case. You'll know pretty accurately, very quickly, are we on target? Do we have to pivot quickly? That is one of the advantages to uranium, as far as I know. Yeah,
that's why I didn't want to give you a number one.
Good.
Probably because in the next several months, my answer could change because we're going to be working on a lot of that ground to prove up our best things to hit.
Well, and that's good. I mean, you're having that you're so excited about a couple that, once again, it isn't that we've got one that's great, we've got a backup. You're like, oh no, I'm very excited about a couple of these. We'll just have to wait to see what the data tells us to do. And that's a great thesis, and that's a great position to be in.
Yeah, like I would talk to Lindy and she'd say, what about this one? I said, tell me about it. And then she'd tell me a bunch of strong points. I'm like, okay, what are the negatives? And usually the positives would far outweigh the negatives. I'm like, okay, let's take that one too.
Yeah. See that, and that's a fun day whenever you go in and you've got so many targets that you're like, wait, this is compelling, this is exciting, and that comes across too to people that when they're talking to you. I mean, you'll be at PDAC as well, so everyone, if you're in Toronto, go down and check out the booth, check out the Red Cloud booth, and ask some questions. I mean, I don't think he's going to tell you which ones are his favorite or not again, but you can see in someone's eyes when they're really pumped about what's developing, and that's clear with you right now.
By June, I'll tell you my favorites.
All right. Good. But that's great though, because it's a working thesis. And once again, with uranium, you can pivot very quickly. It's not the same as, say, a giant drill program that's really deep and you're just not getting anything. That's a lot tougher to deal with. I mean, you guys will be able to pull out and know we're on track. We're getting a lot of radioactive. We're getting a lot of readings here showing us that we're on path. And I think that's why people as well, when they're getting into mining, they like that, because it isn't necessarily the huge long wait that can come with, all right, we've sent assays in, we'll wait 6 months.
That's right. So we're excited and very much look forward to seeing what the coming months hold.
Well, excellent. We're going to keep our eyes open. Well, certainly by June, we'll reach out to you to see what your thoughts are. But and also we're going to. But we're also going to look for any news release in between there as well, because Usually when I speak to someone, we get a good sense as to how excited someone is for the projects. It's very clear that you are. You've got the team. You've got the strategy in place. And it was a real pleasure to talk to you. We love getting stories out that are critical towards developing all the technology and energy we need worldwide, not only just for Canada and the US or the West. This is a worldwide story. It's not changing regardless of people think whether they're going to drill baby drill in the States or not. Nuclear is going forward. The Democrats like it, the Republicans like it. It's moving forward, and it's exciting to see finally that science is winning out, and people are starting to feel very comfortable with the story of nuclear, and that means Canada. It's a huge advantage for us.
I totally agree. And as mentioned, we're doing lots of work now and lots of work coming. And so we'll tell our story as we go. So there'll definitely be news to keep you and the market updated.
So constant news flow. Everyone keep an eye on this. Uranium's down right now, and that long-term story is not shifting and changing. If you're not looking at uranium stories, put some effort in, put some work. We've got tons of reports you can go to, as well as, check into with Red Cloud. They've got tons of research on uranium as well that can help you get on your way. George, thank you so much, Nick. This was great. We're really looking forward to see what happens with Mustang. PDAC, I'm sure will go very well. But any news in between then, before June, whenever, I definitely keep an eye to see if you've changed your mind of which becomes number one. We're very excited to see what results you guys get.
Sounds good. Yeah, that news is coming, and thanks for having me.
Excellent. All right. Take care. All the best, Nick. Take care.
Bye-bye. Thanks.
Red Cloud Financial Services is your preeminent source for mining industry opportunities. The team provides a unique tailored marketing program dedicated to reaching the right people from its mining-focused global network, giving clients access to industry-leading events and conferences, retail and institutional marketing, plus an in-house growth-driven digital agency. Red Cloud Financial Services has access to some of the mining industry's most notable companies and CEOs. For more information, visit redcloudfs.com.